Okay, so in this video we will look at how to use Microsoft Excel. So first you go to start or all programs and then you select Microsoft Excel. When it opens like the Microsoft Word, this this page is known as welcome page. Okay, so you can click blank document. Okay, so when it opens you have to create a new document. Okay, and to create a new document you have to save it and give it a file name. Okay, so now this is a blank Microsoft Excel document. Let me save it first. So to save it, you go to file and then you choose save as. Don't forget that saving a document for the first time you have to you have to select the save as option. And after saving, when you make changes and you want to save the new changes, then you use the save option. So I am saving this Microsoft Excel file for the first time, so I select save as. So I click save as. Okay, then I select browse. Then I select the location where I want to save it. I want to save it to my desktop, so I click desktop and then the file name. You can name it files. You can name it files Excel. First Excel document. Okay, you can name it first Excel document. Then you click save. Okay, now it has been saved to your desktop. So now if I click it, I can see that first Excel document has been created on my desktop. So I can double click on it to open, or I can right click and then select open to open it. Okay, so now it has opened and I want to start working with my Microsoft Word document. Okay, now before we start learning how to use it, I want to explain Microsoft Excel to you. Microsoft Excel is a spreadsheet application created by Microsoft. Okay, it is mostly used throughout the world, worldwide. Microsoft Excel is used worldwide for different purposes such as data analysis. Microsoft Excel can be used for data analysis. Students can use it as the way they use scientific calculators by using Excel formulas and functions. And then forest bureaus can also use it to convert their currencies. Microsoft Excel can be used to prepare loan redemption table and then balance sheets and a whole lot of purposes. Okay, so now when Microsoft Excel opens, you can see it is like it is like a book. Okay, you can see the bottom here. This is sheet one. Okay, if you want to add another sheet, the sheet one is like uh, sheet of a book. Okay, if you want to add another sheet, you can click this plus sign. Okay, and then sheet 2 has come. You can click the plus sign again. Sheet 3, you click again. Sheet 4, you click again. Sheet 5. In Microsoft Excel, you can keep adding the sheets up to 255 sheets. Okay, so you can add up to 255 sheets in Microsoft Excel, and all the sheets together form a workbook. Okay, so now I have five worksheets: sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4, sheet 5. Okay, so now let me save the changes. Let me save all the sheets that I have created. Now if I close the document, this first Excel document, it is called a workbook. It is like a book. So this is a workbook. Okay, so if I open the workbook, Microsoft Excel workbook, then in the workbook I can find worksheets, which is sheet 1, sheet 2, sheet 3, sheet 4, sheet 5. So these are the worksheets. They are contained within a workbook. Okay, okay, so you can right click and then you delete. You can right click and then you delete a sheet. You can right click and then you delete a sheet. You can right click and then you delete a sheet. Okay, so leaving the sheet 1, you can right click and rename it. So you can enter the name that you want. Okay, so you right click. Sorry, let me delete sheet 2, and then let me right click sheet 1 and then rename. Okay, so now you can begin to type any name that you want, like um, okay, sheet, it is the default name is sheet 1, so let me make it book, or let me make it Paul. Let me call it Paul. So Paul, then you press enter. Okay, so the first sheet, which is sheet 1, has been renamed to Paul. Okay. If you want to add another sheet, then you click the plus. Then another sheet will come. Because I opened sheet 1, sheet 2, that is why the new sheet, it is called sheet 3. Okay, so now let me delete it, and then let's work it on the sheet 1. So in case you are working on on one sheet and the sheet becomes full, or you have a lot of information on the sheet, then you click the plus sign and then you add another new sheet. Then you work on the new sheet that you have created. Okay, so that the old sheet won't become too much, won't become overloaded, okay, with information. Okay, now so when it opens, we have file tab, home tab, insert tab, page layout, formless, data, different types, as we have in Microsoft Word. Okay, so under the under the page layout, you have margins, orientation, page size, the same thing as in Microsoft Word. And under the home type, you have bold, italic, underline, the font type, font size, and then font color, and the alignment, left alignment, middle alignment, and then uh, right alignment, the same as we have in Microsoft Word. Okay, and you will see here where it is written A1. It is called name box. Name box is the name of the active cell, and the active cell is the cell that you are currently working with. If you click on a cell, it becomes the active cell. So by default, when you open a new Microsoft document or a new worksheet, you see that cell A1 is always the default active cell. It is always the cell that has been selected, so as the active cell. So anytime you open a new Microsoft document, you see the default cell as cell A1, or the active cell as cell A1. Okay, and we have A, B, C. They are all column letters. You see this side, if you click on A, you see the column that has been highlighted or selected is called A column. If you click on B, you see the B column has been selected. If you click C, the C column has been selected. The same thing, the columns are vertical, and then the horizontal ones are the rows. So if I click on 1, row 1 has been selected. If I click on 2, row 2 has been selected. If I click on 3, row 3 has been selected. Okay, so now let me click. So you see the column A column and then row 1. If I click on this one, cell A1, it is the name of it is the row number and the column letter that gives the cell name. Okay, so the cell name A1 has been appeared in the name box. Okay, so if I click here, you see it says D2 in the name box. So the D2 is the cell name. It is also called cell reference, cell name, or cell reference. Okay, so a row number and a column letter gives a cell name and or a cell reference. A row number and then column letter gives a cell name or cell reference. Okay, and also we have the formula bar. The formula bar is where you can enter your formulas and functions. And in Microsoft Excel, any formula or function that you enter must begin with the equal sign, must begin with the equal sign, or the equals, or an equal sign. Okay, so now let me let me enter, let me call cell A1 numbers. Okay, numbers, or let me call it uh, class 1. Okay, let me call it class 1. And then column B, let me call it class 2. Okay, so under class 1 I can enter numbers like 5, 4, 7, 8, and then 3. Okay, and then under class 2 I can type, let's say 3, 2, 2, 3, 2. Okay, so you can click on class 1, which is A1. Okay, and then you see the formula, the content in cell A1, or any cell that you select, the content in that cell appears in the formula bar. So you can click on cell A1, or let's say class 1, and edit its content in the formula bar. Okay, so if I click cell 2, if I click class 2, which is cell B1, it appears in the formula bar as class 2. So I can edit the content in the formula bar. So now let me say class 5. Okay, you see it has changed class 5. Okay, if you want to change to whatever you want, you can click on the cell and edit the content in the formula bar. Okay, so if I click on this one again, I can click bold and make it bold. If I click class 2, I can click bold and make it bold. If I click, I can select both cells. Okay, and then I change the font size to maybe like 20, or let's see 12, and then the color I can see red like this. Okay, and if I want the ratings or the text to be in the middle of the cell, I can select the center like this, and it will appear at the center. If I want left, I click left. Okay, so now we are going to look at simple formulas in Microsoft Excel. Okay, so now we have 5 in cell A2, 4 in cell A3, 7 in cell A4, and the rest. And under class 2 we have 3 in cell B2, we have 2, 2, 3, and then 2. Okay, now I can say total, I can call this column total. Okay, let me make it bold, and then okay, make it bold and then red color. Okay, and the font size too, let me make it 12. Okay, so I can say total. Okay, and the total, this is what it does. Okay, so I can click here and click on 5, and I click on 5. Sorry, I click here, I click on where I want the answer to be. Okay, which is cell C2. Then I type my equal sign, because in Microsoft Excel every formula or function must begin with the equal sign. So equal, then I click 5, then I type plus, which is the addition sign, then I click on 3. Okay, so the 5 is located in cell A2, and the 3 is located in cell B2. That is why it is showing A2 plus B2. It is this, which means 5 plus 3. Okay, and it is using the cell names to do the calculation, because Excel knows that in cell A2 5 is there, and cell B2 3 is also there. So now if I press enter, it has added 5 and then 3, which is 8. Okay, now if I want to calculate the rest, I can put the cursor at the bottom right of the cell that I have calculated for the answer, at the bottom right like this. Then I drag down or double click. I can double click or drag down like this, then you release your hand and the rest has been calculated. Okay, so you can select all like this and choose highlight color. This is fill color. Okay, you can choose fill color. You can say yellow. You can select all like this. Then you choose fill color. You can say light blue like this. You can select all like this. Then you choose yellow again. You see. Okay, so you can replace the addition with subtraction. Okay, so when you make it, you replace the addition with subtraction. The second number will be subtracted from the first number. Okay, so now let me enter 5. Let me enter 5 into cell G2, 5, and then let me enter. Okay, let me enter 10 into cell G2, and then enter 5 into cell H2. Okay, so now I click cell I2 and then I type my equal, and then I select 10 minus. I type minus, then I click 5, then I press enter. Okay, you see 10 minus 5 is 5. Okay, so now if I click on the answer like this, then I edit the content in the formula bar. So instead of the minus in Microsoft Excel, the 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 dash or the hyphen is used to subtract. So if I replace it with asterisk, then it will multiply. Okay, so 10 times 5 or 10 by 5 is 50. So if I click on the answer and then in the formula bar I remove the asterisk. The asterisk is used to multiply. The asterisk is used to multiply in Microsoft Excel, and then the slash / like this is used to divide. So if I press enter, 10 divided by 5 gives 2. Okay, 10 divided slash G2 slash H2, which is 10 slash 5. It means 10 divided by 5. The answer is 2. The G2 represents 10, and then the H2 represents 5. Okay, so now if I replace the slash, which is the division, with addition to plus like this, it will add 10 and 5. So I press enter, which is 15. Okay, we will look at some important Microsoft Excel functions that are needed and used frequently. Okay, so now start let's start from the sum function. Okay, now let me enter 5 into cell A1, and then 10 into cell A2, 8, 9, and then 5 again. Okay, now I want to find the sum of all the numbers that I have typed. Okay, so the first one, I can select all like this. Then I go to the top right of the screen, you see auto sum. Okay, so if you click on that, the numbers will be added. You see 37. Okay, now let me delete it again, do it again. So you select all the numbers, and you go to auto sum, then you click, and then it will calculate all the numbers, which is 37. Okay, if you don't want to use the auto sum, you can use a function. Okay, so now let's say I want the answer to appear in cell. Okay, let me delete all. Okay, and see numbers. Let me call this field or this column numbers, and then let me call this one sum. Okay, so numbers, let me 5, 10, 15, and then 5, 3, 5, 20, 50, and then 5 again. So in case I want to add all these numbers, okay, using Excel function, I will use the sum function. Okay, so the sum function, I want the answer to appear in cell B2, so I click cell B2, then I type my equal sign, After typing my equal sign, then I type sum. Okay, then I open parenthesis. Then I select all the numbers. Then I close parenthesis. Then I press enter. So the sum of all the numbers is 118. Okay, 118. Now if I want to find the average, okay, if I want to find the average, I will use, okay, let me call this one average. Okay, so I want to find the average of all the numbers. So I click cell C2, or here any cell, you can click any cell, and where you click is where you want the answer to be. So I want the average value to appear in cell C2. So I click C2 and I type my equal and I type average. And I open my parenthesis. Then I select all. Then I close parenthesis again. You see when I selected all, it says cell A2 to A10. It means the first number is located in A2 and the second and the last number is located in A10. So A2 colon A10 is called range. Range, it means all from cell A2 to cell A10. It is called range. Okay, so the range is A2 to A10. Okay, so equal average, open parenthesis, and then I select all the numbers, then I close my parenthesis, then I press enter. So this is the average. The average value of all the numbers is 13.1111 and the rest. Okay, and the sum of all the numbers is 118. Okay, so now if I want to find the minimum value, okay, so the minimum value, okay, you can click this side and expand the column. Okay, if I want to find the minimum value among all the numbers, I can click, I can see, I can use the function, or you have to use the function, the minimum function, the min function. So equal min, open parenthesis, then you select all the numbers, then you close parenthesis, then you press enter. So the minimum number is 3, and it is true that 3 is the minimum number among all the numbers. Okay, so if you want to find the maximum number, the maximum number, you have to use the max function. So equal max, open parenthesis, you select all and you close parenthesis, then you press enter. So the maximum number among all the numbers, or the maximum value, is 50. Okay, the highest value or the highest number is 50. Okay, now you can go to mode. You can also use the mode function to find the number with the highest frequency, the number that occurs most among all the numbers. Okay, so equal mode, open parenthesis, you select all the numbers, then you close the parenthesis, then you press enter. So the mode is 5, and that is the high number with the highest frequency, the number that occurs most. And it is true. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. The 5 appears 4 times. Okay, so the mode is the number with the highest frequency. Okay, and you can also use the modulo. Okay, the modulo is like when a number is divided by a certain number, the remainder. Okay, in the remainder. Okay, so now let's say okay, let me call the I column numbers. Okay, and call the J column mode 2. Okay, so numbers, let me type 5, 7, 9, 15, 35, 11. Okay, so I want to find the mode 2. I want to find mode 2 of 5. Okay, or 5 mode 2, and then 7 mode 2, 9 mode 2, or when 5 is divided by 2, the remainder. Okay, So now I click cell J2 and type equal, then mode, MOD, open parenthesis, then I select 5, then I bring comma. Now I want it is 5 mode 2, so I type 2, then I close my parenthesis, then I press enter. So 5 mode 2, or 5 divided by 2, the remainder is 1. Okay, so I can put the cursor at the bottom right of the cell that has been calculated and then double click or drag down, and the rest has also been calculated. So 5 divided by 2, it will leave remainder of 1. Okay, and then 7 divided by 2, there will be a remainder of 1. Okay, and 15 divided by 2, there will be a remainder of what? 1. Okay, so you can also repress, you can click, you can say mode 2. You can say mode 5. Okay, so let's find the mode 5 and see. Okay, so we click here. So equal mode, MOD, you open parenthesis, you select the number, comma, and then the mode, it is 5. So you type 5. If you want it to be mode 7 or whatever, then you type the number. So I want this one I am dividing, I want to find 5 mode 5. Okay, so I bring my closing parenthesis, then I press enter. Okay, so it says 0, and it is true that 5 divided by 5, there will be no remainder. Okay, so I want to find the rest, but I don't want to do it one by one. So I put the cursor at the bottom right corner of the cell that has been calculated, and then I drag down like this, and the rest has been calculated. So 7 divided by 5, or 7 mode 5, it will leave a remainder of 2. Okay, 9 mode 5, or 9 divided by 5, it will be there, there will be a remainder of 4. And then 15 divided by 5, there will be a remainder of 0. 35 divided by 5, there will be a remainder of 0. 11 divided by 5, there will be a remainder of 1. So this is how to use the mode function in Microsoft Excel. So now we have looked at how to use the sum function, average function, minimum function, maximum function, mode function, and then modulo. Okay, so now you can format the cells. Okay, so the numbers or the sum, you can highlight, you can select the sum column and use fill color yellow, and then average, you can use like light blue like this. The maximum number, you can use yellow, sorry, minimum number yellow, and the maximum number, you can use light blue like this, and then the mode, you can use 0 like this. Okay, select the color that you want. Okay, so these are some of the Microsoft Excel functions that you must know in your daily Excel or daily spreadsheet or daily data analysis activities. Okay, so now, as I told you, you can click the plus at the bottom here, then you add another sheet, and you can also enter some data here and then work on it and do whatever you want. If it becomes full, then you add another sheet. Okay, you can add sheet 3. Okay, so now let's go to sheet 1. Okay, and if you want to print, you have to make sure you select the paper size. So here you go to page layout, then you select size. Okay, and then you select, let's say, A4. Okay, A4. Now the orientation, because Excel normally contains more information on the page or something like that. You have normally you can use the landscape, okay? You can use the landscape and you see that there are some dot lines here. So the dot lines means anything after this dot line or the after this break lines, okay, or anything at that comes to this side, it will be on a different sheet, okay. So this one will be sheet 1, okay, this side is the sheet 1. So this line divides, okay. So you can go to the bottom and then when you enter and press enter and see, let's press enter. So this is one page, this is one page, this is one page, this is one page. You see the line that divides it. So normally you have to, if you want whatever you are doing to be on one page, then you have to make sure it is on this side only. Don't let it cross the border, okay. Don't let it cross this line, don't let it cross this line. So whatever here and upwards will be on one page, okay. Okay. And if you want to print, you go to file, then you go to file and then you go to print. As in Microsoft Word, you enter the number of copies. Then if you have a printer, you click here and select the printer name, then you click print, okay. All right. And if you want to save it as PDF, you go to file and then you go to save as, you go to browse and then you choose where you want to save it, like desktop. You can maintain the file name, first Excel document, and then the save as type, you click here, then you select PDF like this, okay. Then you click save. So it has been saved to the desktop. So you can minimize it and you see here the PDF file is here and the Excel file is here. So let me open the PDF file and let's see. Okay, so this is the PDF file, okay. So in case you want to print, you want to save Excel document as PDF, this is how you should go by. So now you have to keep on practicing what you have obtained.